What's up, everybody? So let's go ahead and get into today's dope discussion. I want to go ahead and let you guys know that we will be reading some pages from 50 Cent's book. So while we are doing that, please be patient with us because I do feel like this section of the book is very much so something that is relevant to today's dope discussion. Um, but let me start off by saying this. It is extremely important for men to be very cautious and careful about who they lay down with, especially raw, because we live in a world where if a female or a woman, right, wants to be grimy, wants to be slick, wants to be manipulative and the whole nine, she can. And a way that she can do that, unfortunately, is by way of your children. But not only that, you guys, another reason why men especially need to be very cautious and careful about who they lay down with is the fact that that woman, if you just so happen to impregnate her, that woman would ultimately be the one that can be a heavy influence on that child. And we already let you guys know that the world that we live in today grants women so much authority, so much power, and dominance over the children. And so you could potentially be placing your child under the same kind of mind control, if you will, personality traits, the whole nine as that woman. Because again, you guys, we just got to be real and call it how it is. This world pretty much grants complete control and all of the rights to that female. If you get her pregnant, that's her child. That's the world that's the world that we live in today. It doesn't matter that it's your seed. It doesn't matter that it took two. That's her baby. And with a lot of the sick, twisted, conniving, cutthroat behaviors of women today, you could very well help to give birth to your own damn enemy. I took a poll, right? And I asked you guys, could you survive off of $80,000 a year? So far, we have 71 votes. And out of the 71 votes that we have, 94% of you guys said you absolutely could. All right. 94% of you guys said that you absolutely could survive off of $80,000 a year. Right. Now, 50 Cent has a son. I'm not sure if he's a junior or what his name is. I think his name was Marquise or something like that. It's actually in the book I'm getting ready to read from in a second. But 50 Cent has a son that is being given from child support $6,700 a month, which equals to a little bit over 80,000. And 50 Cent's son said that was not enough money to survive on. He went on this whole spiel about how he had to struggle off of $6,700 a month and how that's unfair. When we live in a world, a country, right? Let's go ahead and bring it to America. The average salary in America is barely $50,000 a year. I'm not even sure if that's including taxes. I don't even know if we're walking home with that. And you have a young man saying that 80,000 of free money that you did not have to clock in for, you did not have to bust your ass to get nothing. Your daddy gave it to you. He said that wasn't enough. And it all is stemming from this mother. Let's tie in how mothers are actually creating these monsters. All the time, we talk about how men don't do this and men don't do that, and it's the man's fault, and the men are creating these type of children. The men ain't leading, and the men ain't providing. The men. All day, every day, we hear about that shit. But can we get into how a lot of these females are out here creating monsters, not doing what they need to do as women? The father could very well be on the right path as far as raising the child, instilling the proper things into that child to help them to prosper and grow and develop into healthy human beings. But you have mothers coming in saying, oh no, that's not good enough, or my child shouldn't have to do that, and no, blocking the father from doing his job. You have that, and nobody hardly ever speaks on it, especially not women. Let's get into something real quick. And again, you guys are getting ready to read. This book is by Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent. It's called Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. I read this book. It was recommended to me by my husband. It's a great read. I recommend all of you guys to check it out. You can even listen to the audio book right here on YouTube. So I highly recommend this book. But I want to read this. And it's in chapter 9. And chapter 9 is actually called, let me see. It's called The Entitlement Trap. Y'all go ahead. We can hit 200. Y'all like the video. Share the video and subscribe. It's called The Entitlement Trap. I'm going to be reading from page 242. And I have quite a few pages afterwards. So y'all just be patient. But this is very important, though, you guys. Very important for us to dive into. It says, when I first got together with Shaniqua, neither of us had much. Now, Shaniqua is 50 Cent's baby's mother, okay? We were both living in what we perceived to be the bottom. Our goals didn't extend much past having a decent place to stay and fresh clothes to wear. Then my situation changed, and I suddenly had resources at my disposal. A lot of resources. And I wanted to share them with Shaniqua. We weren't together anymore, but she was the mother of my son. She was with me before the fame, and I acknowledged and respected that. She saw me rise, and I wanted her to find her own success. So here you do have a Black man that is no longer with the mother of his child, but he's like, look, I came up, now I want to put the mother of my child on. Y'all would swear up and down Black men don't do shit like this. Black men get on and leave you for a white girl. Black men get on and turn their backs, act like you never existed, leave you high and dry. Now, here you have 50 Cent like, look, I got my bread together, I'm on the come up. We're no longer together, but she's the mother of my child. I want to share my wealth with her. I want to help put her on. I want to make her successful in her own right. Okay? It says, with that in mind, I would ask her, what she want to do with your life? Did she want to go to school? Did she want to learn interior design, fashion? I kept asking her to identify the occupation that would provide her with some kind of purpose that could provide both wealth and personal satisfaction. Not only would this be good for her personally, but I also wanted our son to be raised by someone who had a career of her own. But no matter how many times I asked, Shaniqua never had an answer for me. I'd bring up different possibilities and scenarios, but there was never a connection. It was incredibly frustrating. I didn't like sending a check every month to someone who didn't seem to have any interest in working. She might as well have been on welfare back in the hood. The only difference here was that she was getting a bigger check from me than she would have gotten from Uncle Sam. It finally came to a head one day when I was visiting her in Marquise one weekend. So what you want to do? I asked her once again. She just looked at me and rolled her eyes and said, ain't nobody work if they don't have to. Oh shit, I sputtered. I suspected people thought that way, but no one had ever been ill enough to actually say it out loud in front of me. You already did it, she said firmly. So why should I have to do it too? I'm good. I don't mean to sound dramatic, but it was one of the most shocking conversations of my life. And I've had a lot of conversations people would consider shocking. I am extremely serious about the value of hard work. I believe it creates not only success, but happiness too. You can never feel satisfied if you're not applying yourself to something you're passionate about. When Shaniqua said, ain't nobody work if they don't have to, it was like she was dismissing everything I believed in. At that moment, I knew things would never be right between us. We just saw the world different ways. I was disgusted that she didn't want to work, and she was disgusted that I thought she should. I understand that she had the responsibility of raising our son largely on her own. I tried to apply less pressure on her when he was younger because of that. But once he was in his teens and didn't need someone holding his hand every second, I hope Shaniqua would finally start to show some ambition. There was a period where she made some noise about getting into real estate. I thought that was a great idea. Atlanta was a growing market, and I offered to pay for the classes she would need to get her license. But after a few months, it was clear that passion wasn't there. She wasn't excited walking into a house for the first time and envisioning all the possibilities for it, or by taking an old property, fixing it up, and flipping it for a profit. She just liked that being a real estate agent was something you can do from home. Of course, nothing ever happened. Looking back, I can see that moment when Shaniqua said, ain't nobody work if they don't have to. It's when our relationship hit the point of no return. Up until then, I had visions that we could still fashion some sort of partnership. Maybe not romantically, but at least as parents with a common goal. A business could start that would benefit our son down the road. When it was clear that she not only did not share that vision, but was actually offended by it, my attitude towards her completely changed. I became petty. It was as if I were a fitness buff and she was obese. Every time she pick up another proverbial cookie, I'd be like, damn, you really need that cookie? It's just gonna go straight to your hips. It was barely conscious. He says, I was barely conscious of it, but I was being mean in the hope it would embarrass her into some sort of action. It had the opposite effect, though. The more I homed in on her lack of hustle, the more she began to resent me. The resentment kept building up between us until it matured into hate, a hate that's still present to this day. What's upsetting isn't just that our relationship has become so toxic, but that she passed that same resentment and entitlement along to our son. He's been given every advantage in the world, far beyond most kids born in the ghetto, but he still feels like he's been somehow cheated or robbed by me. It's a scenario I never imagined I'd find myself in with my firstborn child, but here we are. Look, you guys, are y'all noticing the pattern? Are y'all noticing the pattern? You have 50 Cent's firstborn son, a man, a young man. Thank you, Terenzo. Saying, $6,700 a month ain't enough. Look where he's getting that from. That entitled behavior. Look where he's getting that from. It's been passed down from him, from his mother. His father believes in working hard. His father believes in hustling. His father believes in going after what you want. Developing your own sense of success, not just living off somebody else. But you have a mother like, nigga, you made it. Fuck, I need to work for. Ain't nobody gonna be out here working if they don't have to. And this is the type of programming that she's passing out to her son, the same mentality and attitude she's passing out to her son. Terenzo says, salute Crown Heads, was in the hospital for a few days and about to rest. I'll be in the background listening and I'm okay now. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Terenzo. I'm glad that you're doing better. And thank you so much for your support. Y'all give us 300 likes. We got a few more pages to read and then we're going to get into this dope discussion. I just really want to give the background to this. This is why it's extremely important for us to be careful and very mindful of the people that we lay down with, especially men. I'm gonna be honest with my brothers. Men, you gamble a lot as it pertains to relationships and having children. You gamble. It's a big risk, right? It's a strong possibility, especially in today's day and age where, you could lose the grip on your own child because of all of the benefits and the perks and the luxuries and the privileges that come along with women. So it doesn't matter that you are the type of man that believes in certain ideals or you have certain perspectives as far as how a child should be raised and what a mother should be and what a father is supposed to do and all of that. When you live in a world or a society where that could be blocked, like you could be blocked from even having any kind of say so. So you got to be very mindful and careful about who you lay down with. Because this type of stuff, a lot of the time stems from the mother. Let's be real. In this world, the mothers have a strong grip on the children. At any given time, as a woman that has a child, I can tell you, nigga, you can't see your kid. That's my baby. And it doesn't matter how great of a man you've been. Thank you, G Money. Thank you, Dimitri. I'll read that in a second. It doesn't matter how great of a man that you have been, how great of a father you have been. At any given time, if I'm done with you, or if I just want to milk you or use you up or isolate you, whatever, from your child, I can do that. So you gotta be very careful about who you lay down with, because women, we can take the baby. It doesn't matter if it's a boy, a girl, and I can have the ultimate influence over that child. 50 Cent was being extremely diplomatic, overly diplomatic in this situation. He was not even with the mother of his child at this time. And he's like, look, how can I put you on? I'm doing well. How can I get you to do well? What is it that you want to do with your life? Let me invest in that. Let me fund that. Let me support that. Because you know what? You're the mother of my child, and I want the best examples for my son. I don't want my son to be influenced by somebody that's lazy or somebody that's eating off the next person. Like, no, we're not together. And so let me help you to not only help yourself, but help my son too. And then for her to have the attitude of, nigga, I ain't doing that. And ain't nobody gonna work if they don't have to. Can y'all imagine how mind-blowing and devastating that was for 50 Cent to learn that that was the attitude the mother of his child had? To where she was the main provider. I can't even say provider because he was doing all of that, but she was the one looking out and ultimately raising that child. So again, she would have the most influence on him. And that's her attitude. She doesn't mind having her hand out. So you can only imagine what she's teaching that son, what she's showing that son. And here's the thing, ladies, we got to be very, very, very wise about this. Ladies, when it comes to children, and I don't have children yet, but I'm so glad that I don't have them yet, because it was so much. There's so much wisdom I was able to accumulate over the years. So when I do become a mother, I'm going to be fucking great. We have to understand that as women, we are teaching our children directly and indirectly. It's not all the time what you are saying to that child. Most of the teaching that comes from us to our child is what they're seeing us do, what they are witnessing us do. It's the action. So if your baby, it doesn't matter that it's a son or a daughter, if you are the primary caregiver, whatever the case is for that child, they're watching you the most. And if you're kicked back, laid up, like everything's all good, and you know they're hearing you and watching you just be completely complacent and content off of just mooching and leeching, they're like, oh well, shit, yeah, I need to be like that too. Yeah, like my mama said, my daddy got it. So ain't no sense in me going out here and getting it and doing all this for myself. My daddy gonna take care of me. So we got to be very careful and cautious, ladies, about what we are doing in front of our children. Not just what we're telling them, not just what we're saying. It's ultimately what you are doing. And a lot of us are piss poor examples of what a great teacher, a great leader, a great influencer, a great human being should be. I'm going to continue reading. We can hit 400. Y'all like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Okay, I got Terenzo. Thank you, Dimitri. It says, talk to him. Oh, we're going to talk to him today. Y'all already know that. Thank you, G Money. That young man is in trouble. His piss poor communication is his attempt at building a relationship with his dad. Let's get into it. Because although I feel like the mother, can I be real? Because I gotta be fair and balanced, right? Right. Although his mother, I feel, was the most influential as far as the way 50 Cent's son has turned out as far as his entitlement and all of that. 50 Cent, we've seen how 50 Cent has behaved, right? We've seen how petty he can be. We've seen his sly and slick remarks. So, I mean, he's getting that element of his father as far as his maybe poor communication skills or his pettiness or whatever the case is. So I feel like a lot of that maybe stems from 50. But this entitlement, I really want to drive home how a lot of the mothers are actually influencing their children to behave very poorly and to not have the best mentality, ways and actions, lifestyles, the whole nine, ambition, right? Work ethic, as maybe they should. And I really want to get into that. Okay. But thank you so much, G Money. But yeah, with that type of entitlement, especially as a man, that's very dangerous. It's very dangerous on a man to be lazy and entitled. Because you guys are ultimately supposed to be the ones paving your own way, making your own mark on the world, getting it for yourself. You're supposed to be the leader, the teacher, the provider, the protector. And if you are set in this mode of, having things handed to you, I feel sorry for you, brother. Thank you, Eugene. Hold on. Eugene says the reason why the son is mad is because he's just a spoiled brat who thinks he's entitled to $80,000. But look at the mama. See, here's the thing. We got to pay attention to how a lot of these females out here today are poisoning the minds of these children. A lot of these females are creating these monsters. We are creating the very weak, entitled, selfish, leeching, mooching men that we complain about. We push the fathers away, right? So I'm pretty sure, and I'm going to read in a second, y'all. I'm pretty sure that based upon what I'm reading from this book, that 50 Cent's baby's mother was the type of female that was just like, look, nigga, I don't need you. I just need that check. And so we could very well be pushing away fathers, not just men that were sperm donors. No, not just men that just hit it and quit it. No, pushing away fathers that actually can teach our sons to be men. We will push them away and say, nigga, we don't need you to teach them how to do this. I just need that money. I just need the check. And before you know it, your son is being brought up to be a weak, entitled, feminine, bitchy male that his mama is. I'm pretty sure if 50 Cent was allowed to really be a part of his son's life, he would be instilling in his son how to hustle, how to go out there and pave your own way, how to make a name for yourself. But instead, he's brought around or brought up and raised by a woman that's like, oh, nah, you ain't got to do shit if somebody that you are connected to got it. You ain't got to go get it if somebody that you know got it. And as a matter of fact, if they have a lot to offer, if they don't give you something that is even remotely equivalent to what they got, they ain't shit. Which is why you have 50 Cent's son like $80,000 a year. Nigga, you making, I don't know how much 50 Cent makes. Let's look it up. Right? Let's look it up, y'all. Y'all like the video, share the video, and subscribe. We get 400. This 389. Come on, y'all. Y'all like the video. How much? Let's see. 50 cents. 40 million, right? 40 million. As of October 2022, 50 Cent's net worth is estimated to be $40 million. Okay. So 50 Cent's son never had to work a day in his life, never had to go out and get anything, had his father do everything for him. And being raised under the same roof as a female that is teaching him that you ain't got to work if you don't have to. You ain't got to go and get it if the person that you connected to got it. What's being instilled into him in his mind is that, hey, I don't have to work and I don't have to do anything for myself if I have access to somebody else who's got it. And not only do they have it, but if they just so happen to have a lot, I expect to have just as much as them. So 50 Cent's son is looking at him like, nigga, you worth 40 million. So I should have at least 20 million. Again, I ain't doing shit. I ain't trying to hustle. I'm not trying to go out there and pay my own way, create my own name. All I know is, nigga, you got it. And if you got it, I got it. Fuck, I need to work for it. That's what my mama taught me. My mama taught me, if you got it, I got it. And the more you got, the more I should have. That's the mentality. And again, you have females out there creating these type of men that they complain about. Let's get into it. Y'all like the video? It goes on to say, I spent a lot of time searching my soul, trying to understand what could make a son forsake his own father like that. I've tried to put myself in Marquise's shoes. So now 50 Cent is talking about how his son Marquise really is like he resents 50 Cent. Like he don't like him. And he's talking about how this poisoning has came from the mother, her resentment towards him, her entitlement, her selfishness, right? It says, just as he doesn't know what it was like to grow up under the circumstances I did, I don't know what it was like to grow up as the son of 50 Cent. Certainly on the surface, he had everything he wanted, but there must have been pressures and insecurities from being my son that I can't identify with. I accept that. I still can't see how those pressures and insecurities would force a child to go against his own father, especially a father who has provided everything for him. As I go over our relationship in my mind, the only answer I can come up with is that I actually might have done too much for Marquise. How do you make a privileged child feel deprived and angry? I guess by getting him whatever he wants. Like many kids from his generation, Marquise has always been into sneakers. Because he's my son, he couldn't just rock any old sneaker either. If a new pair of Jordans came out, he had to have them right away. If Marquise asked for a pair of Jordans on a Monday, his mother would make sure they were on his feet come Tuesday. It still didn't make him happy. Instead of being excited to rock his new pair of Jordans, all Marquise could think about was all of the retro Jordans that he didn't have. All the different flyaways and colors that weren't in his closet. When he should have felt gratification, all he really felt was disappointment. I could not relate. The kid didn't have a job, but somehow wanted to collect $300 sneakers and then still felt unhappy when he actually got them. His entire mindset was alien to me. I have to believe his mother was behind his disappointment. He thought he could have every sneaker ever made, even though he hadn't actually earned any of them. He's not regular, she would tell me when I would ask why he needed a new pair. He's your son. She had already established the pattern that you didn't have to work for something to get it. Marquise was just following her lead. I didn't want that sense of entitlement to become a core part of who he was. I was determined to help him learn that he would actually be much happier when he worked for things that he wanted and that their value would increase exponentially. One day, I was driving through Harlem when I noticed that a sneaker store was going out of business on 125th Street. My mind immediately flashed to my son. Marquise loves sneakers. So I pulled over to see if I can grab him a couple of pairs on the cheap. Being naturally inquisitive, I asked the owner why he was going out of business if sneakers were so hot. He explained that he picked the wrong location and never got enough foot traffic to make it work. My mind started clicking. Say, how much do you pay for a pair of Air Force Ones? I asked. About $40, he told me. And how much you sell them for? Well, about $80. That seemed like a pretty solid profit margin to me. What's you gonna do with all of these Air Forces now? I asked. I don't know, he said. Probably just stash them in my basement till I figure out my next move. I tell you what, I told him. I'm going to buy the rest of your inventory from you right now at cost. The guy jumped at my offer. Suddenly, I was the new owner of a couple hundred pair of Nikes. I hatched a plan. Marquise was in Atlanta, where I knew storage space was cheap. I would ship the sneakers down to him so he could put them in a warehouse. Instead of opening up a brick and mortar shop, which would have taken a lot of investment and dependent on the aforementioned foot traffic, he could set up an entire site selling sneakers, what is referred to as direct to customer sales. All it would require would be for him to run the site and maybe hire a friend to manage the warehouse side of things. The idea felt like a winner. As soon as I left the shop, I called up my son. Yo, Marquise, you know how you always been fascinated with shoes? I asked. Well, I just figured out a way that you can afford them for yourself and start to earn a little money of your own too. I broke the whole plan down for him. I explained how it was a great opportunity that would not only support his passion, but allow him to get a nuts and bolts understanding of how a business works. This is a layup, I told him. Not too many stores get to start off with free inventory. You could really do something with this. If you're truly passionate about sneakers, this is the time to show it. Marquise said all of the right things on the phone, how excited he was and that it sounded like a great opportunity. So I had the shoes shipped down to Atlanta. Then I never heard from him about it again. Weeks, then months passed. Finally, one day his mother called me and announced that she and Marquise had been talking. Instead of an online sneaker store, she wanted to open up a clothing boutique in Atlanta. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The plan I'd envisioned didn't include her. I wanted our son to learn how to be responsible for himself. By injecting herself into the mix, she was just trying to keep him a boy a little longer. See, that's that bullshit, y'all. Let me pause right there. That's that bullshit. You have a father stepping in to, again, lay up for his son. Like, look, I understand that my son has a love or a passion for sneakers. Let me use that love or passion for something that he has and turn it into a business for him. So again, he can learn how to make his own money. So he can learn how to be a man, how to establish his own footing in this world. Let me do that for my son. But yet you have these mothers stepping in with their own selfish motives and plans. Nah, you ain't got time for that. What about me? See, what had happened was this. This is my opinion. What happened was this. The baby mama started to see that she was being edged out. It was no longer a need to have her, as the middleman. We're going to skip right over you. We're going to go right to the son, right to the source. I actually want my son to be able to do for himself. And once he's able to establish stuff for himself, he can make his own money. You know, I can pretty much back away. I can back off. He can have his own. But with the mother seeing that play, it's no longer gonna be a need for me. You're no longer gonna have or have any responsibility or obligation for me. You again Xing me out. And a lot of these mothers, unfortunately, are used to being able to reap all of the benefits and all of the rewards from being the baby mama. Well, your son needs this. So in order for your son to have this, I'm going to need you to give it to me first. But now once the child becomes of age, it's like, no, bitch, I don't got to give it to you. I can give it directly to him. And he can have for him, he can do for himself. And see, a lot of mothers, unfortunately, see themselves fading into the black, fading into the background. So where it's like, oh, damn. I need to interject myself back into this. I need to let my son know, no, you actually need me, son. See, you don't know how to do it. You need your mama to come in and put her sauce on it, because without me, it's going to fail. When in all actuality, he would have been great. He would have done that. Like, that's great. That's a great business plan that was given to him. You don't have to depend or rely on foot traffic. Like, online is where it's at. 50 Cent was years ahead of the game. But yet you got the mother trying to come through and influence the child. Intervene, interject, and put herself in the mix. Well, no, he don't need to do all of that, because if he do that, then he ain't gonna need me no more. Y'all both gonna have y'all own thing going on, and where I come in. We can hit 500. Y'all like the video. I still wanted Marquise to get some experience. So I said, sure, let me know when you guys want to do something. But of course, their boutique never went anywhere. And the online sneaker shop didn't either. My issue with Marquise wasn't that he wanted all those sneakers. When I was a kid, I wanted sneakers too. The difference is that I was willing, determined to do the work necessary to obtain them. I wouldn't for a second want Marquise to ever have to resort to the typical type of work I had to put in to get my kicks. At the time, I perceived selling drugs as the only viable option in my environment, so I pursued it. Marquise had so many more options in front of him than I ever had. I just needed to see him pick one and put in the work. There is nothing wrong with wanting things. The sense of want can be a tremendous motivational tool. Feeling like you need more than what you have is what keeps us from getting complacent. I pretty much got it all, but I never feel like I do. When I was younger, I always wanted more in the ways of material things. Today, what I want more of is validation. No matter how many awards, accolades, or headlines I get, it's never enough. I'm still obsessed with feeling like I've got the hottest show or just dropped the hottest verse. Not needing the respect of my peers and the confirmation of sales is what keeps me pushing forward. I need to feel like I need to feel like they're looking at me and saying, "Man, 50 did it again." That's what gets me high. What sets me apart is that I never expect anyone else to bring me those accolades. I go out each and every day obsessed with putting in the work that will earn me whatever sort of validation I'm looking for. When it comes to Marquise's approach to dealing with wanting something, the apple fell from the tree and kept rolling and rolling. Sure, Marquise never following up on the sneakers might seem like a small thing. The type of irresponsibility and lack of initiative teenagers and young adults display all the time. But it was a huge disappointment for me. Forget about being able to afford his personal sneaker collection. That online store could have ended up making us both a killing. We had that conversation years ago. Since then, online sneaker sites have become incredibly lucrative. GOAT.com is valued at 550 million, while StockX.com has $1 billion valuation. If Marquise had followed through on what we talked about, he could have been included in that conversation. He could be independently rich. Shit. He might be in the position to tell me to go fuck myself and my money if that's what he wanted to do. I'm sure that Marquise reads the GOAT or Stocks X deep down. I'm sorry, it says, I'm sure when Marquise reads about GOAT or Stocks X, deep down, he probably realized I was right. Maybe he says, why did I not listen to my father and start that fucking online shop? Or maybe he can't bring himself to say that. I don't think he's accepted that. No matter all our ups and downs, I still have his best interest at heart. There is nothing that would make me feel better than to see him blossom. No Grammy, no Emmy, no picture of the cover of Forbes would mean more to me than seeing my son turn into the person I believe he can be. I'm going to stop right there. This is what I'm talking about, you guys. This is what I'm talking about, you guys. You have fathers wanting to step in and step up and create strong, sturdy, thriving, successful, lucrative foundations for their children. But you have mothers coming through, putting a huge stop to that for whatever selfish reason. Maybe it's because she wants to always have control over that child, and not having control of that child means that, I don't have certain access to the father, whatever the case is. It could be because she wants to be the hero in the child's eyes. You never know. It's so many different factors that can go into why you have these bitter baby mamas trying to stop fathers from being fathers. But at the end of the day, I don't think that we truly understand how we do not only ourselves a disservice, but our children a disservice by doing this. 50 wanted his son to be able to be a man. Men established their own roots, if you will. Men don't wait for the next man to feed him a meal. Men don't wait for the next man to give him something. They go out there and they get it. They don't care about who they are connected to that got it. Like, no, I gotta create my own name. That's what men do. Yet you have mothers out there trying to baby their sons. Let's really highlight the son element. Creating these weak ass little boys that have no sense of self, no sense of direction, no ambition, no purpose, just there, just existing with a handout. And y'all really are confused as to why you have men out there that are livid with the way that their children are being raised, not having access to their children. There are fathers out there that absolutely want to be fathers, but are denied. Children poisoned against them. And it's the women. We never talk about this. Hold on. We gotta talk about it. It's the women that contribute to it. We need more young men out there to understand the value of working, establishing your own, getting your own, having your own. We don't need more lazy, entitled, feminine, bitchy, complaining ass guys out there that, again, have no sense of self, no sense of direction, no motivation, no ambition. We don't need any more of that. And what's crazy is these are the very same type of men that we complain about every day. But this is what we influence them to be. They get it from their mama because daddy has no say so. Daddy has no rights. Daddy can't have any influence. I'm going to poison you against him, as a matter of fact. And what's really crazy is this, you guys. Let's really go here for a second. What's really crazy is this. It seems to me the more masculine the father is, the more I want to poison my child against you. Hold on. And when I say masculine, I'm not talking about the macho man with all the no, I'm talking about masculine as in the mentality, the work ethic, the action. When you have men out there like, no, you got to go and get this shit yourself. You have to go out there and get it. You got to go out there and learn. Apply what you learn. Never become complacent. Keep striving for more. Whenever you have fathers that are like that, trying to instill that into the children, it's like, nah. Those fathers get blocked from being fathers the most. That's trash. And we end up setting our children back so terribly, especially our sons. Let's really talk about it today. We raise our sons to be weak as fuck. You push away the men that are actually men. Then you want to turn around and get with the most weakest guy to come into your child's life while still being able to reap all the benefits and eat off the masculine one. Do y'all know how many times I've seen that type of shit? Or I've heard that type of scenario? From the men right here in my chat, I've heard that. Yeah, she pushed me away. Even though I was doing everything for her. Yeah, she didn't want to listen to me. Even though I was out there doing everything, she had to work for nothing. She had to worry about nothing. Now, I'm giving her this, I'm giving her that, and she with this new guy, and he weak and he pathetic, and they eating off me. How many times have we heard that? So now you got this weak ass dude in the household with your son, and he's learning his ways and action from his weak ass. Oh, okay. Well, my mama, she chose him. So obviously, this is the man I should pattern myself after. Okay, because she pushed my daddy away. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I shouldn't be like my daddy. See, my daddy, we just use him. My daddy, we just leech off of him and mooch off of him. But him right here, I should be like him. He get with him a female that take care of him off the next nigga money. You know what I'm saying? So I need to be like him. We do shit like that. Then complain there ain't no real men. Do y'all want them or no? See, here's the thing. Here's another thing I've noticed. We love the fruits of the strong masculine man. We love the fruits of him. We love the fact that the strong masculine man is going to be a go-getter, which means that he's going to be financially stable. He's going to have financial freedom. He's going to have a lot of the things that we need to thrive and survive. He's going to have that. We love the fruits of that type of man. But actually being with the type of man, we cannot take it seems. Because you know why? That type of man does not want a lazy, broke bitch. Let's just call it what it is. That type of man is going to have requirements for a woman. We don't like that. No, you cannot just sit around lazy eating off of me just because you have my child or just because I'm with you. Hell no. You're going to have to put in some kind of work, some kind of effort. You're going to have to do for me, not just sit back, kick back, and eat off of me. That's not going to go. See, masculine men, they're not going to come with that. Y'all don't like that element of a masculine man. Y'all love all the benefits, though, all the perks, though. And y'all really have it in y'all minds that masculine men are supposed to just be simp ass, noodle back ass men. No, they're not. Oh, well, I didn't know that you was gonna be like this. See, we have it in our mind like I can have me a masculine man, but he gonna be able to be walked all over and manipulated and controlled and taken advantage of. See, that's a real masculine man. No, the hell it ain't. So then what masculine men would do, what masculine men do, now it's like, I can't, I ain't gotta work. If you got it, I ain't gotta do nothing. Pay for somebody else to do it. That's bullshit, and it does not fly with real masculine men. You're gonna have to work for the perk, baby. Period. And what makes it so much worse is the fact that when it comes to the babies, they become casualties of war. Because my mama on some bullshit. And so since my mama bullshit, she gonna teach me bullshit. Now I'm gonna be on bullshit. Now I'm in a worse off position than I should be because my mama did this. This happens and we don't talk about it. We live in a world where women can do no wrong. And that's cap. We do wrong all the time, especially by our children. We do wrong by our children every day. Chasing dick, over our children, partying over our children, getting high, getting drunk over our children, wanting to have and live our own life over our children. Once you have children, that's done. That's dead. It ain't about you and what you want. It's about what that child needs. And we do not do that in today's society, in today's world. As women, we don't. And then we end up fucking up our children. And then before you know it, they're repeating the same tragic patterns as us. And it's the man's fault. When a lot of times we don't push the man away. Or poison the children against the man. How is his fault that you poison the baby against me and push me away? How is my fault? Because I'm trying to put y'all up on game. I'm trying to instill certain things in our children that can be long lasting. Last a lifetime. You teach a young man work ethic, how to hustle, how to go and get it on his own. That's gonna last forever. That man gonna be good forever. That can be passed down generations to come. But unfortunately, we live in a society where that shit dies off. Because a lot of the mothers turn these children into lazy, entitled monsters, just like them. And that's facts, and we do not talk about it. We always talk about deadbeat baby daddies and no good men. Okay, we already had that fucking conversation numerous times. I'm so tired of y'all jumping in my damn comments. Well, the fathers turn the children into monsters too. And the fathers do this. And the fathers do that. We already had that damn conversation. Let's talk about what the mothers do. And a matter of fact, the mothers do more damage more often than the fathers because they have more access. Let's talk about it. Y'all give us 535 likes. Excuse my passion. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about the good fathers that get pushed away. Let's talk about the good masculine men that are trying to teach their sons to be good masculine men, but get effeminized by their damn mothers. Let's talk about that. And like I said, that shit usually dies and never gets passed down because of what we teach our sons, what we teach our daughters, whatever. What's going to happen when 50 Cent is dead and gone? Let's take 50 Cent out of it because he's a multi-millionaire. Let's take him out of it. 50 Cent is worth $40 million. Like, okay, let's take him out of it. Let's bring this home to the everyday average person to where $6,700 a month would do us very, very fine. Very good, right? Let's say you have a man that makes decent money. He's went out there, he's busted his ass, he's established a good, strong name and foundation for himself, the whole nine. He knows what it takes to go out there and get it. He knows what it takes to be well off. He knows what to do. He gets with a woman, impregnates her, have a son. Now he's thriving in his business, his career, whatever it may be, doing good. Something happens along the lines, him and the baby mother part ways. He realizes that, hey, she's the one that has sole custody of the child. Let me at least be able to break her off with money and provide something for her to where she can have a very good lifestyle on her own outside of me. because I'm not with her. I want her to be able to have her own. Because again, she's the one that has primary custody of our child. I want my child to be able to see his mother out there doing things for her own, on her own, right? So you do that. You do that for your child and your child's mother. But let's say you're not 50 Cent. You ain't making no millions. Probably got a couple 100,000. And let's say that in child support, you know, you're able to do pretty well as far as paying the child support. Well, your son is witnessing the mother get all of this money. Oh yeah, we get a whole lot of money a month from him. I guess he's doing pretty good, Ain't no sense of me working. Ain't no sense of me, clocking in nowhere, doing nothing for myself. I mean, I'm gonna get this check on some government daddy bullshit, right? The son's listening to this, like, damn, let me be like my mama then. My mama say, I don't need to work because she ain't working. My daddy got it. Let me just do that. But then let's say the daddy dies. He's not leaving behind millions of nothing. At 18, daddy dies. Damn. I ain't never had to work. I don't even know what that life is like. I ain't ever had to do nothing for myself. All I know is getting it from my daddy. All I know is living off this check. All I know is what kind of man is that young man going to be? When the daddy dies, so does the money. What is he going to do? Let's say that he's accustomed to living a certain lifestyle off of his daddy's child support check. And again, he's not able to have the same work ethic, the same mentality, nothing, ways and actions, nothing of that of a go-getting masculine man. What is he going to do? And this happens a lot. We get raised by these piss poor mothers that are poor examples for any child, male or female. And then before you know it, we're doing the same shit our mama did. You go out there, then you get with a woman like your mama or worse. Or you go out there and you get with a dude that's like your mama or worse. And so that shit dies. It dies with them. So the daddy was not able to have any kind of influence or help out or be a part of the life. So I wasn't able to teach or instill certain things into you to where you can go out there and thrive and survive with or without me. And then what I teach you, you teach your son, or you teach your daughter, and you pass that down to them. And again, it's just this ongoing cycle of going and getting it, thriving and surviving. But a lot of times, due to these mothers, that shit dies. Ain't no passing nothing down generation. What? Generation? Generational. Get the fuck out of here. This happens more often than not, especially within the Black community. And we the ones that complain the most about men not being men and men not doing what they need to do. Look how they're raised. Look at you. Let's talk about how a lot of y'all push away the good masculine fathers and end up perpetuating the same fucking cycles. It's your fault. Why we don't ever talk about a lot of shit we complaining about being our fault? You raised that little boy to be a lazy ass grown man. You turn him against the very man that could have taught him how to be a man. The man that any woman would want. You turn him against that. Thank you, Eugene. This represents how the younger generations take the works of the older generations for granted and thank the older generations by pissing on them. Lord have mercy. You know, and it's one of those things to where here's my thing, you guys. Let me say this. While it's important to give our children or provide our children with certain luxuries that maybe we didn't have growing up, you know, it's also very important to instill into them the importance of, you know, going out there and getting it, you know, the value of struggling. There's so much I was able to learn through struggling. It's beauty in that. It's strength in the struggle. So you have to have that balance. You have to have that balance. You have to be able to teach your children, you know, both sides of it. Because when it's on one extreme to where it's like, oh, I got it, and since I got it, my kids ain't never gonna have to do this, they're gonna have to do that, they ain't gotta go do that. And so you kind of like create a monster in spoiling them and not really teaching them the value in being able to be resilient, if you will. Because it's a lot of resilience that's created within those struggles and within those hard times. So you have to teach your children to be appreciative of a lot of the things, a lot of the luxuries. So you got to expose them to both sides. I got to expose you to the struggle side and be able to go out there and get on your own. And I also have to be able to expose you to the other side of, you know what? Let me reward you. Because this is what I didn't have. Let me give it to you. And you deserve this. So both sides need to be exposed. Both sides need to be explored. But unfortunately, a lot of times, when it comes to a parent that is, you know, entitled or selfish or whatever the case is, they hardly want to expose, you know, that struggle side, because it's like, well, you know, my kids, they shouldn't have to do this, and my kids, they shouldn't have to do that, and you know, they ain't got to appreciate none, because why? You know, if I, as long as the daddy got it or I got it, what's the point in all this struggle? Why teach them that side? Now, if they don't got to, why expose them to it? Because it's value in that. Character is built within those struggles. And so again, fellas, especially, y'all really have to be careful about how y'all are going about I don't want to put it like this, but I got to. Y'all gotta be careful about how y'all going about having sex. These females can get you coming and going. No pun intended. Hold. These females can get y'all coming and going. Just by laying down with you, I can be a millionaire. Thank you, Omni Rama. Thank you, Miss Kita. Y'all gotta be extremely careful. As a matter of fact, isn't this crazy? Didn't 50 Cent have the song "Have a Baby by Me, Baby" and be a millionaire? Well, that type of shit could very well happen. And so, fellas, y'all got to be very careful about who y'all are laying down with and creating to be millionaires, if you will. Because who's to say that this female won't destroy your life, destroy your child's life, have you out here bad? It is so easy. Can I be real with y'all? Let me be real with y'all for a second. It's your little big sister. Thank you, Miss Keita. I appreciate you. Let me be real. I mean, Ronnie says, "Here you go, baby girl. Take my money. Keep preaching. I appreciate you." Yes, Andre. The casual sex. Can I say this, Andre? And again, y'all like the video, share the video, and subscribe. How many likes we got? Y'all, we should have at least 530 likes. At least. But I'm going to ask for 500. Y'all, come on. Y'all like the video. This is real talk. When it comes to casual sex, you guys, especially for men, that needs to be a thing of the past. That has to be dead. It is extremely dangerous in 2022 for men to be out here having casual, raw sex. It is dangerous. That is life threatening on so many levels. And I know y'all don't want to hear that shit, but it's the truth. How do y'all think these females are able to get over and have access to you in the way that they do? A lot of it is stemming from sex. That's the easiest way to get you. And not only can I get you as far as the finances, all of that, but y'all have got to stop sleeping on how a lot of these females can be emotionally. Hear me out. I know. See, me as your little big sister, I don't view men how a lot of these other females view men. I don't view y'all as cash cows and banks and ATMs. And I don't view y'all as that. I don't view y'all as a bunch of machines. No. I view y'all as humans. Men are human beings first. We have feelings, damn it. We have emotions, damn it. And do y'all know how many men have been able to be manipulated and controlled through sex by way of their emotions, their mind? Y'all completely sleep on that. So it's not just beware of just having casual, raw sex with women because, you know, she can get pregnant and, you know, she get pregnant, she can take all your money and, you know, she can, you know, do all of that. No. Be careful with the casual, raw sex, fellas, because you're a human. And guess what humans have? Emotions. Do y'all know how many men have been out there stuck on stupid because of his feelings for a female, and she was only able to tap into those feelings because she didn't put it down? No, she wouldn't do me like that. She loved me because the way she swallowed that dick, there's no way. No, she loved me because, you know what I'm saying, she the only female, be riding it right. I ain't never had no female throw that ass back. She be looking in my eyes, nigga. So, if she looking in my eyes, that mean a bitch love me. She swallowed it, man. So, she gotta love me. That was the weight of my heart. Do y'all know how many men have been taken by the sex and had their emotions? What they say, emotions make me cry sometimes. Who was that? Who was that group, y'all? I know I think the lead singer died or whatever. I know that damn song. H-Town, was that H-Town? Emotions make you cry sometimes. Men, y'all be out here crying sometimes too. So you have got to be careful. Y'all laughing, I'm dead ass serious. No pun intended. I'm dead ass serious. Be careful. Be careful. And if I can have access to your emotions alone, I don't even need a baby. No, I'm a real nigga. Can't no bitch. No, the nigga, we different. Men and women, we different. Y'all the emotional ones. Shit. No, y'all the emotional. See, us men, we can be out here just smashing and dashing like nothing happening. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all are still human. And if somebody put it on you good enough, baby, you ain't gonna know what hit you. And before you know it, you're giving her access to a whole bunch of shit she should not have access to. Your house, your car, your bank account, your security, your social security numbers. Do y'all know how many females I've seen do that? And no baby involved. And then before you know it, your life is ruined because she done took all your damn money. She done put all the shit in your name. Have you paying for her whole lifestyle? That happens. So I gotta be extremely cautious. And when it comes to the kids, man, that's a whole nother monster in and of itself. Can you imagine having somebody that looks just like you? 50 Cent's son looks just like him. 50 Cent's son looked more like him than he looked like him damn self. Can you imagine having a human being on this planet that you created that looks just like you and hates you, despises you, resents you, feels entitled to everything that you have, and ain't did nothing to deserve even have? Come on. Can you imagine that? And a lot of it is stemming from the chick at the club that you casually had sex with. Come on now. Thank you, Alexa. She says, much love, Danica. Come on now. Y'all gotta be careful. Men have to be careful. It is imperative. It's too many odds against you. I'm saying this as your little big sister. It's too many. I'm a woman. Sometimes I think y'all forget that I'm still a woman. Yeah, let me testify. Let me testify. Hold on. I think sometimes y'all forget that I'm a woman. I gotta pull back up Omni because they ain't have to come through like that. I appreciate it. Do y'all know how much and how big of a lick I, as a woman, could hit? I'm speaking against things that as a woman could benefit me. But see, I understand the importance and the value of moving righteously, doing things the right way. Just because you can hit a lick does not mean that it won't come back and hit your ass in the forehead later. I think about the long-term effects of things. So even though right now I can get instant gratification off of maybe doing certain things that a lot of females get away with doing, how would that affect me in the future? And not only that, how would that affect my offspring? How would they be as humans? Because at the end of the day, it's about also raising decent human beings, right? That's how I think. But a lot of females today, oh hell no. Catching you slipping is my come up, nigga. That's how a lot of females of today think. Your downfall is my come up. Are you serious? Please listen to your little big sis. The same things that women can do and get away with, as men, the consequences are extremely dire for you. This is why I feel for my brother so much, because first things first, my first best friend in this whole world was a black man, my brother. And what what affected him growing up and everything, even to this day, it affected me. And so I have a different level of respect and love for my brothers because of the way that I was brought up. My first best friend was a black man and my brother. My first protector and provider was a black man. My first teacher was a black man, my father. I was raised by a black man. Are you following me? I had all black men in my life. Black men have created me to be the woman that I am today. I'm married to a black man. So this shit hits way different for me. So when I'm saying these things, it's from pure love. It's from purely caring about you. When I see black men, I see my brother, I see my father, I see my husband, I see my uncles, I see my grandfathers. I see all of that. I see my first best friends in this fucking world. So when I'm talking to you all, I'm coming from a genuine, pure place of love and care. I'm not coming from a place of, oh no, that's gonna go against me as a woman. I can't benefit from that as a woman if why would I say that? Because at the end of the day, again, I see y'all as my brothers. Like, this is a whole different connection for me. So when I'm telling y'all, you gotta be extremely careful. I'm speaking from a place of your sister looking out for you. Cause I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, your slip up is my come up. Your downfall is my come up. Your setback is my come up. This world does not. How can I say this without being too just in your face with it? It's no other way I can say it. When it comes to black men, especially, the world does not give a damn about you. The world does not give a damn about Black men. Everything is set up for you to lose. And what's extremely crazy is that when it comes to women, that is the ultimate way for you to lose. Due to the fact that there's so many things working in our favor as women against you. So when I lay down and I have sex with a man raw, casually, and he's doing pretty well for himself, pretty decent for himself, and I get pregnant by him, I can take that man for everything that he's got just because I have my baby, not our baby, not his baby, my baby. Thank you, Sorenzo. I'll read that in a second. I already got first dibs. I can set you all the way back just from that alone. I can get my orgasm. I can get my access to you. I can get your money. I can have a lifelong come up just from having casual, unprotected sex as a woman. That's the way the world is set up for me to win over the men. Period. I'm not even gonna have to, you don't have to put a color on that. That's just period in general. Whereas men, your slip up as far as having casual, unprotected sex with me doesn't matter how well off I am or am not. That's gonna cost you, broski. I can steal away your joy of even raising a child. So not only can I take away all your money, all your resources, have access to you in ways that nobody else could, but I can also strip away your rights as a father. I don't care if you've always wanted a son. I don't care if you've always wanted to be a father and raise somebody. And I don't give a damn. I can strip that away from you just because I'm a woman. So, fellas, y'all really have it in your minds that y'all don't have to be careful. That you can really be out here raw dogging a bunch of hoes that you don't know just because she got a fat ass and she cute. How is she as a woman, though? Are y'all on the same page? Does she embody what you're looking for in a mother of your child? See, that's where 50 Cent went wrong. And a lot of men go wrong. We go based upon my sexual urges only. Right here, right now, I'm horny. I see that ass. Let's make it clap. That's all I'm thinking about. And before you know it, everything is gone. Your child, your access to your child, your dreams and goals, and maybe you wanted to have for your child or things that you want to instill into your, it's gone. We got to make sure that the women that we lay down with, fellas, please, as your little big sister, you got to make sure the women that you are laying down with are down with you. Make sure you're on the same page. Does she feel like, as your woman, she should be contributing, or does she have the mentality of, well, if you get money and you get financially stable, or whatever, or you're doing decent, then I can just slack off and I don't really have to, do anything to contribute. Like, you gotta have an understanding of that before you do anything. A lot of y'all don't know who y'all laying down with. Y'all don't know this woman from a can of paint. And it's like, all I know is that ass, and she cute. She had a nice, some nice Instagram pictures. Fuck out of here. Those Instagram pictures are not going to raise your child. Yeah, I gotta think about this type of stuff. Where is she mentally? Where is she emotionally? How is her lifestyle? What are her dreams? What are her goals? What are her aspirations? Is she ambitious? Is she nurturing? Is she caring? Is she supportive? Is she teachable? Is she coachable? All of that matters. And a lot of y'all don't even know these chicks. All y'all know is that ass, though. And then before you know it, you dealing with a 50 cent situation. So it's like, damn, I would have never thought. I would have never thought that this would be coming out of her mouth. These words would be coming out of her mouth. I would have never thought that she would be so entitled and so lazy and be teaching that to my kids. Wow, that's crazy. But how many of y'all are actually getting to know these women first? Thanks, Terenza says research epigenetic inheritance and sacred energy exchange. D just gave y'all a life key to set yourself free from how men are mind controlled. And y'all motherfuckers laughed. What a goddamn shame. Shaking my head. What happened, Terenzo? Who in here laughing, Lord? Yeah, that ass though. That's all it be. That's all it be. And then before you know it, you dealing with a situation to where your money getting taken away from you, your kids being turned against you, and that's never cool. Thanks, Alexa. That's never cool. But I really want to get into this though. Why is it that these mothers are never being held responsible for the way that their sons are turning out? We complain so much about how a lot of, especially the black men, we complain so much about how black men are lazy. Black men don't want to build anything. Black men just want to have everything handed to them. Black men are broke, dusty, concrete. We say this shit every day, all day in and day out. Whole platforms being built off of it. Yet we never acknowledge our role in it. How many times have there been black men out there, black fathers out there that wanted to teach their sons to be men, and we blocked them, we stopped them, we tell them, oh well, you ain't got to teach our son that because you got it. You ain't got to teach him how to go out there and get it because you already got it. So what's the point? Just give it to him. And then our sons pass down that same bullshit ass perspective and mentality and personality to their sons. And we, again, just keep creating a cycle. Why don't we acknowledge our roles, women, mothers? Why don't we do that? Why aren't we more careful about the actions that we display in front of our children. Why don't we do that? How about your daughters? Let's go to the daughters. We can go there too. How many of us have daughters and we push the fathers out of our daughters' lives? Oh, yeah, baby girl, we don't need you to do that. You ain't gotta be like that. Don't get that attitude. Don't fix this, change that, cover that. Don't do that. How many fathers are out there trying to be protective and provide for their daughters, but are being pushed away? And instead, you got this mother over here doing God knows what in front of that child, teaching her to be God knows what. And then before you know it, the daughter is a baby mama multiple times over. The daughter's in the streets. The daughter is a pass around, all of that. The daughter is a gold digging hoe. The daughter's entitled, selfish, all kind of just whatever. Like we do that, and it's based upon what my mama showed me. And then let's not get into how the fathers try to fight for a position in their child's life and gets rejected, gets pushed out, whether legally or not. And then the child not knowing what's going on behind the scenes, feeling like daddy left me or daddy neglected me. Daddy didn't want nothing to do with me. And all the while, it was like you had no idea how hard your daddy was fighting to be a part of your life and help you. But your mama, because she wanted child support, or because she wanted to be the savior, or because she wanted to have control over you, all kind of things. Because she felt like she knew best and she wanted her freedom with you and to raise you to be her best friend or whatever the case was. That happens. Why aren't we acknowledging our role in the monsters that we are creating as human beings? Stop talking about, oh, what the daddy and he wasn't here and where was he at though and why he ain't do this. But the men, cool, had that conversation. Why don't we ever talk about the men, real masculine men that wanted to be a part of their child's life and you kept them away? You pushed them away. You didn't allow them to teach them anything. You didn't allow them to be there for that child. Then you create piss poor human beings that you're going to complain about later. And it was all your damn fault because you kept the father away. Why don't we talk about that element? And that happens a hell of a lot more than we talk about. Look, y'all, I said what I said. I feel like this is sad. I feel like it's a lot of, unfortunately, it's a lot of these type of scenarios going on, especially within the Black community, to where it's like you have a father trying to instill certain principles into the child and have them to develop into self-sufficient, wise, intelligent, wealthy people so they can again survive and thrive on their own. But you have mothers interfering with that, interjecting and messing that up, not making that possible. To where you have our children growing up feeling like, oh, 60 what 600 and I'm sorry, what was it? $6,000 a month, $6,700 a month is not enough when the average American doesn't even make that. White, black, or otherwise. That's pretty damn good. And then to have them thinking that and having the notion that I don't have to work for that and that should be just handed to me as a man, I don't have to work for that. That's terrible. What kind of monsters are we creating? What kind of men are we raising? What are we doing? We got to do better. We have to start allowing fathers that want to be fathers to be fathers. We have to start allowing the masculine men to be masculine men and father our children. We have to start doing that. All this pushback, all this entitlement, all of this deflecting and projecting, that ain't gonna work because it's fucking us all up, including our children. And with that being said, y'all, I appreciate y'all for pulling up with us. I thank you guys so much. Again, you guys, y'all like the video, share the video, and subscribe. I appreciate it. We got them likes up. And y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. I felt like it was very sad, for 50 Cent's son to pretty much disrespect him in the way that he has. And I really feel like it's very unfortunate that in my opinion, he's getting a lot of those behaviors from his mother, and I read some of the book to, kind of back up my sentiments. But y'all let me know how y'all feel. Are you going through a similar situation to where, maybe you've tried to be a certain type of father to raise your child a particular way, but the mother blocked you, and before you know it, your child was adopting some of the same type of ways and action as the mother that were counterproductive and just not beneficial to them being healthy, full grown, whole adults. Y'all let me know. And also let me know, what are you doing about it? What is your advice? Because there's some people out there going through the same thing and they need answers. And so let's talk about it, you guys. Down in the comments. And again, you guys, y'all pull back up with us on when we go live again. Friday. We should go live again Friday. And I want to get into another dope discussion. And I feel like it'll be very beneficial. And it's something that's like, it really dawned on me, and somebody actually brought it up to me in the previous dope discussion. But it just kind of like slipped my mind. And I want to bring it back to the forefront to really highlight some things. So y'all pull back up on Friday for that dope discussion. I'm not going to tell y'all what it is yet, but y'all pull back up to see. And remember, we go live each and every Sunday at around 11 a.m. Central, and then Wednesday and Friday around 6 p.m. Central. All right. Y'all come back on Friday around 6 for more dope discussions. And again, you guys, I thank you guys so much for your love and support. Let's continue to thrive and grow. Crown Head Nation. And I love y'all. I take none of y'all for granted. And big, huge shout out to Omni Roma for that generous donation. You super dope for that. But I take none of you guys for granted. Thank you all. All right. But again, let's continue the conversation. Y'all let us know if you're dealing with a similar situation, what you're doing to, I guess, resolve that issue, if anything. Like, just let's continue the dialogue and see, what information is available to all of us, because this could be beneficial. And I know 50 Cent is a millionaire, but this could happen to any of us, the most average person, the most below average person this can happen to. And so it's very important for us to have these kind of dope discussions and conversations. But again, I love y'all. I thank y'all. I'll see y'all later. Danica Marie, we out. Peace.